Today it seems like you can record jaw-dropping 4K footage and high-resolution images on any camera, so it's always exciting to see innovation in areas other than image quality. And the new Sony a7R V is a perfect example of this, and you can take it underwater right now. First, I'm going to go over a few of the key specs of the camera and then give you a brief overview of our housing and why you might already own it. The Sony a7R V uses the same 60 megapixel sensor that the a7R IV uses. However, the updated processor allows the camera to take full advantage of the sensor, unlike the a7R IV. You're going to see a significant increase in autofocus, exposure, and white balance performance. This is due to the new AI processing unit. Basically, the camera is using AI learning to hit and track focus on subjects, nail exposure, and predict white balance. Like I mentioned before, this camera is built around a 60 megapixel sensor, so your photos are going to have a lot of room for cropping, recomposing, while maintaining a high resolution image. Continuous shooting hasn't changed from the a7R IV, 10 frames per second in JPEG and lossless compressed RAW, and 7 frames per second in high quality RAW modes. But the most interesting photo feature coming out of this camera could be a game changer for underwater photographers. The a7R V has the ability to save separate ISO and shutter speed settings for when you're using a strobe. Now you can easily switch between strobe and natural light shooting without the slowdown of changing settings. You'll also be able to record up to 4K 60, HD 120, and even 8K 24. You've also got all the great picture profiles like standard, S-Cinetone, and S-Log options. If you found yourself starting to shoot more video or you want the option to without sacrificing image quality, this is a great upgrade from the limited video recording options of the a7R IV. Another amazing feature that this camera has for underwater hybrid shooters is the ability to save settings between photo and video mode. For example, I can be recording video in S-Log 3 with a 1/50 shutter, turn to photo mode, and automatically switch out of log shooting with a shutter speed, ISO, and aperture perfectly dialed in for photography with strobes or natural light. This isn't a new feature specific to the camera, but if you're looking to upgrade from an older alpha model or a different camera brand altogether, this will be very helpful. Honestly, hybrid and ultra efficient shooting with a Sony has never been easier. We are happy to announce that the a7R V is compatible with our Sony a7 IV housing with only 2 changes to be made: the mounting base plate and a small screw, both of which are shipped with the housing as of January 1st, 2023. So out of the box, the housing is compatible with the a7R V and the a7 IV. If you already own the a7 IV housing, you'll need to purchase an upgrade kit, which is linked below. To use the a7R V, just screw in the base plate labeled Sony a7R V onto the appropriate camera. The other change is the small screw that works with the mode dial on the top of the camera. The screw allows you to press the mode dial button, which doesn't exist on the a7 IV. If you're using an a7 IV, you can either remove the screw or keep it in the housing. It won't change any of the functions. You'll be able to see and access necessary controls through our acrylic back, as well as take advantage of Ikelite's TTL system for perfect strobe exposure. The Sony a7R V is a cool step forward in camera tech, and we're excited to shoot with it underwater. We'd also love to see your underwater photos with the camera. You can submit them for a chance to be featured in our weekly newsletter and Instagram at Ikelite@ikelite.com. Thanks for watching and happy diving.